And our second son was diagnosed with leukemia when he was about 3. He was on a sort of treatment which was very, very toxic, and he was incredibly brave, but it was really deeply uncomfortable. And this toxicity would affect his mouth, and he would have boils. Jackie, my wife, had already become a Christian and was starting to pray with him and pray for him. I would sometimes put him to bed and pray very kind of, I wasn't a believer, I was way, way, way behind. And I would sort of pray, bless mummy. And then one evening, Simon said, "Daddy, could you pray for God's healing power?" And I thought, oh. So I sort of saw what Jackie would do, lay a hand on him and pray a very general prayer. Next morning, all those boils had disappeared. And I saw this happen almost week in, week out for 2 years, and I didn't believe. I could see miracles happening under my very eyes, and I didn't believe, because I was still trying to process, because I had a real problem with miracles, actually. And Jackie had started taking me a Bible study, and we were crawling our way through John's Gospel. It took 3 years to go through John's Gospel. It was agonizing, if you don't believe. And I kept banging on the table. I was really kind of, well, how can you say Jesus is the Son of God? And my big problem with Jesus was miracles. And here I was seeing them week in, week out with my own son. And at the end of it, I still didn't believe. But I think something was obviously going on in my heart that almost it wasn't so much the fact that I was witnessing something I couldn't understand. It was that I was with a small boy who knew somebody I didn't. He was talking to somebody I didn't know. And so an architect friend who I trusted took me to a talk. And they did a kind of reenactment of the Good Samaritan, I think it was. And I just believed. This is true. And I remember as everybody got up to kind of go, it's all very kind of, British, or all sort of left. I remember pushing my way to the front. And as I pushed my way to the front to shake his hand, I said, I've got to acknowledge with this man that I've committed my life to Jesus. As I was pushing my way through the crowd, as it were, I thought, this is interesting. There's something of the Christian life in this, that you're going against the flow. And there was an alpha course going on. You need to get on this. And so I went on an alpha course, and we've followed Jesus together ever since.